Hello, VIPs. We are going to have a cookie baking day. And as you can see, my kitchen is kind of a holly jolly disaster. That's going to get cleaned up as we go along too. I figure once I get the first batch into the oven, then I will unload and reload the dishwasher. So, I live here. I'll be right back. So we are starting with cake batter cookies, and I did these the other week and turned them into Grinch cookies, but I just happened to have a box of red velvet cake mix in my pantry, and I thought, well, that'll be good for Christmas cookies. So I'm going to put in the package of cake mix. And you guys, this one is so easy. So my oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. And they only have to bake for like 10 to 13 minutes. But since I'm not doing this live, I can take my time with these. So I've got my half cup of vegetable oil. And then I need 2 eggs. And then it's going to mix in the mixer, you guys. But the part where I'm saying that I can take my time is I'm going to chill the dough in the fridge before I scoop them out and put them on my cookie sheet. Because otherwise, with the cake batter, I don't know if you've made these before, you guys, but they tend to be a little bit sticky. So when you're wanting them to be, uniform shape, it's nice to have the dough a little bit chilled. So let me get the stand mixer, turn it to mix. My default is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm gonna let it go. And again, you guys, deluxe stand mixer, fabulous piece for your kitchen. You can host a party and get it 60% off, but you guys, host in January. In January, when your party hits $650 in sales, and it will, because despite popular belief, or contrary to popular belief rather, January is my best selling month of the entire year. I have a lot of $650 parties, and you will get double free. You could get the stand mixer for free. All right, you guys. Such a beautiful deep red color. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge to chill for 10-15 minutes. All right, you guys, I have got my chilled cookie dough and I have got my medium scoop. And we are going to want to put these an inch apart in case they spread. And I've got parchment paper down on my cookie sheets, you guys, okay? We are gonna make this quick and clean and easy. I almost got 18 cookies. May have been a little heavy-handed with the scoop in the beginning. So these are going in the oven, 350 degrees for 10 to 13 minutes. So they're gonna cool here for a few minutes before I move them over to the cooling rack. So I'm gonna move my cookies over to the cooling rack and let them cool completely. And then you guys, I think I'm gonna move on to no-bake cookies now, because the rest of my cookie recipes involve butter that I did not remember to pull out early for it to soften. So we'll be back. So we are on to no bakes, you guys. And this is not my recipe. I haven't made no bake cookies in a very long time. I honestly don't know that I've ever made them in this house. And we moved here in 2018. So I found a recipe on Pinterest. That's what I'm going to use today. And if we love it, fabulous. If not, I will switch it up next time. But I am in a large pot adding sugar, 2 cups of sugar. I've already got my stick of butter in there. I've got a half cup of milk. And then I've got a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And then I need to whisk this until it comes to a boil, which I think is going to take me a few minutes. So that was 1 minute. I'm going to remove it from the heat. And I am adding in 3 cups of quick cooking oats. Get those stirred in. So if you're watching and you make no-bake cookies, if your recipe is any different, let me know, because I'm curious. All right, so I've got my oats mixed in. Now I'm going to add in 1 cup of peanut butter. And I've got it in my measure all cup so that we can get all of the peanut butter. Look at that, you guys. We will stir that in. And then the last ingredient is a teaspoon of vanilla. Guys, so it looks like this, and it smells amazing. So the last thing I'm gonna do is grab a cookie sheet lined with wax paper, and I'm just gonna plop them on it. Now my plops might be inconsistent sizes, but it doesn't matter, you guys, because they're not gonna bake. So it's not like some are gonna be done and some are not done. They're no bake cookies. Now the recipe says to like let them set on the counter for like 15 minutes, you guys. We always chilled ours in the fridge, so I'm gonna pop these in the fridge. And you'll notice I didn't use my Pampered Chef pan, you guys. I'm saving that for baking. I have too many rounds of cookies today to have my Pampered Chef pans stuck in my fridge. So back to our cake batter cookies, you guys. So this is how they turned out. They're not like a smooth, flat cookie, but I'm going to ice them anyway because they're cake batter cookies. And I don't find them to be overly sweet. And so adding a little frosting and some sprinkles, I think works out well. So I'm just using the cookie icing that you can get at the grocery store, you guys. Nothing fancy. The kind where it floods and fills in the gaps, and then once it dries, you can stack the cookies. So these are going to be gifts. It's going to be like a variety pack of cookies for friends and family. But what I have found, you guys, is the cake tester and releaser. That little pointed end is really helpful for helping your frosting know where to go when it hasn't fully flooded in. That helps me kind of decide if I really need more frosting or if I just need to tease it to go to where it needs to go before it sets. So yeah, this is, maybe I'll do a little more here, a dual purpose kind of tool. So you can see how now my frosting covers the whole spot that I wanted to. And again, not perfect. I'm just decorating these, putting some icing on for the sake of having some sweetness and having some sprinkles stick. So I will do the whole batch and then I will give you guys pictures here at the end. I've got peanut butter cookies yet to do and whipped shortbread, but in true Rachel fashion, still waiting for my butter to soften. All right, you guys. Here they are, my Christmas cake batter cookies. So I might need to take a break to make the kiddos lunch soon. But here are my no-bake cookies, and I guess I could have used a scoop and took the effort to make them into more consistent shapes, but it tastes really, really good. I feel like the ones that I used to make or the ones my mom made were darker brown, maybe more cocoa. That's a really good amount of peanut butter. But yeah, if you make no-bake cookies, I would love to see your recipe. Now we are on to whipped shortbread cookies. And this one is a Pampered Chef recipe, you guys. And I have made this one a couple of times. And I'm going to this time use our small scoop, even though it is currently sold out. I'm so sorry, you guys. But I'm going to use the small scoop because I am making cookies for gifts. So I want some smaller ones to kind of give a variety to, you know, the gift that I am making. So I am going to do that. So I have got my 3 sticks of softened butter. And then I have, what do I have here? I've got powdered sugar, 1 cup. And then I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as half a teaspoon of almond extract. Let's see. Okay. Sugar and extracts. All right, so add it to the deluxe stand mixer, and I put it on cream, which defaults to 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and that's exactly what the recipe wants. Surprise, surprise. So I'm gonna let it do its thing. Let me show you guys how fluffy this is. And it smells really, really good too. It almost looks like whipped cream. Anywho, I'm going to now add my 2 1/4 cups of flour and half a cup of cornstarch, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I might just take a moment, where's the scraper, to scrape what's getting high up on my beater to make sure that all gets in there. Okay. And then it says that I need to go to mix, and we are going to mix for just 45 seconds. So yes to mix. Let me turn it down to 45 seconds. Here we go. All right, you guys, rings are off, hands are washed. This is serious business. So I'm using the retired small scoop. It's been in and out of the outlet, you guys, so maybe we'll be able to find it. But we are going to make our cookies into perfect little balls. Now, you guys, these just bake on an ungreased cookie sheet, so easy peasy. But I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 of them. And then you're gonna put the hash marks on them with a fork, right? And then we are going to do sugar, you guys. I've got the white shimmer sugar, so I'm just gonna put a bunch of that here. Oh, let's just be quicker about it. In my coating tray. And then I'm just gonna take and dunk my cute little cookie in it. And I'm gonna do that with, I think they said when you use the small scoop, you get like 52 cookies. So I'll be back. All right, so these are going into the oven at 300 degrees for 20 minutes. But you guys, I've still got a ton more dough. So I will be doing another batch, I think, with red sprinkles. And I forgot to mention to you guys, if you feel like your fork is getting sticky when you're smashing all of your cookies, I have a little pile of flour there on my mat. And as I feel like I get a little stick, then I just reapply and go back on my way up. Yep, see a little stick? Smashing my cookies. So I've got a combo here because I realized my red was not as coarse as my white, so I just put it all together for our next little batch. The red and white might not be as photogenic, you guys, but we'll see once they're baked. All right, so my second batch is here, and I've got Pampered Chef's Cooling Rack, you guys, which if you are not familiar, haven't seen them, don't have them, they are stackable, you guys. Let's get that lined up. So then I can just get all of my other little cookies on the top row. Now I do still need to make peanut butter cookies, but I ran out of sugar. All right, you guys, it is night now. It has been a long day, but I have now got the ingredients that I need to make peanut butter cookies. And this recipe is from one of my teammates, Yolanda. So I'm not gonna just post it publicly. If you want the recipe, say, Rachel, share the peanut butter recipe, and I will message it to you privately, okay? So I've got 2 sticks of butter that have been sitting at a room temperature all darn day. And I'm going to cream this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and choose cream on the mixer, you guys, super easy. And I think I've got all my ingredients, but I'm pretty sure I need eggs, and I don't have eggs, and my recipe is on this phone, so I'll be back. Okay, yes, so the recipe does require 2 eggs, so now I know everything that I need. And the recipe has me doing things in a very certain order, and my old recipe wasn't that way, so I'm just gonna pull a Rachel here and do what I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the peanut butter to the butter and let it keep on creaming there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 eggs. Oh yeah. Let's stop that there. Let me get my 2 eggs in here. And I'm just going to set this to mix, which defaults to 2.5 minutes and starts slow. And I'm gonna put my sugars in there. So that's 1 cup of white sugar. Well, this packed brown sugar might give me a run for my money. I'm gonna pause it a second. Let me make sure you guys can see more of that and less of me. Okay. Let that keep mixing. So I've got my peanut butter, my eggs, and my sugars in there so far. And then I have 3 cups of flour. And I'm gonna add that in kind of slowly. silicone prep bowl, you guys. If you have those, you know they are fabulous. They're easy to grip. I should have used my pouring shield. I somehow got quite a bit of it coming out of the back end. All right, we have got baking soda. We have got salt. And we have got 1 teaspoon of vanilla. All right, I'm gonna let that go for another minute there and we'll be back. The dough looks fabulous to me, but I'm going to let it chill in the fridge for a little bit while we eat some pizza. Cause yeah, it's dinner time. All right, you guys, so I am back. Now the recipe says that this makes 15 dozen teeny tiny cookies. So I am not making teeny tiny cookies. I am going to use the medium scoop to roll my dough. And then I'm going to do, of course, my little fork hash marks. Be right back. All right, you guys, so I have 2 stone bakers covered in cookies here, you guys, and so I made them a bit bigger, and I still have probably enough for 2 more stones worth. But just something to note, you guys. So again, the recipe was making really little cookies, so it said 5 to 10 minutes. I'm making bigger cookies, but I'm also baking them on stoneware. Now, when you bake on stoneware, you guys, especially when it's a short recipe, you're gonna wanna add maybe 2, even 3 minutes to make sure what you're making is cooked all the way through. Now, the nice thing about stones is they're very, very forgiving. So they do a nice, even bake, you guys, and you're not gonna burn them. So again, bigger, I'm gonna start at 10 minutes, and then I will let you guys know what cook time it really was. All right, you guys, I'm about ready to go take a shower and get out of this reindeer set of pajamas and into a new one. But these, I baked them for 12 minutes, you guys. My stone is still a bit warm, so I'm gonna let them cool here a little bit more. Then I'm gonna transfer them over to my baking rack. But you guys, that is my cookie adventure for today. I hope that you enjoyed. Comment live or replay when you see this video. And you guys, book a party. See ya.